Hey everyone, there's more updates on the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 saga that I need you all to know about. From the director being weirdly coy about things while also painting himself like a victim in the wake of backlash, and an exclusive insider info look given to me by Grums that I want to share with you all as well. Beyond this, Insufferable Games journalists return to cry about the loss of their side as stuff they champion continues to burn to a crisp. Let's get into it. Firstly, in case you haven't kept up, I'll get you up to speed quick here. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 got into a lot of controversy after it was reported that the game was going to be banned in Saudi Arabia for gay scenes that the developer Warhorse Studios refused to remove. This then made everyone confused since the first game was an honest-to-God medieval simulator that gave players the experience that they were craving and wanted. This made many believe that the sequel would be ruined by identity politics. Then Daniel Vavra, the director of the game, came out publicly and explained his stance surrounding the controversy and the supposed gay scenes, but what he said neither lessened the claims nor doused the flames either. It was all weirdly nebulous, which has now led to many threatening to boycott the game out of principle alone. And to say this has all gotten out of hand, well, that would be an understatement. Now the director pointlessly has positioned himself as a victim, and this is just a mess that never needed to get this bad in the first place. Before I get into the whole victimizing stuff, I want to first get into this instead. Grum sent me some insider info from someone who has indeed beaten Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in full and given their opinions on the supposed gay sequences that are in the game. As proof here, this is the person's Steam account, redacted certain info of course, but beyond this proof of them playing the game, they also sent Grums a photo of their Steam achievement for having completed the game as well, as you can see here. Okay, so here's what they had to say about this all. Firstly, the person who beat the game told Grums straight up that the game is not woke at all. It does not pander, it doesn't have girl boss agendas, nothing like that at all is in this game according to this reviewer who again got sent an early code for the game. This person has completed almost all of the content in the game but still has some side quests left, and here's what they told Grums. Firstly, Henry can romance other characters in the game, and yes, it is 100% confirmed that Henry can indeed romance a male character. However, as Grums was told, this is not forced upon the player whatsoever in any way. The romance is much like how BioWare did romance back in the Mass Effect days, where you will obviously need to go out of your way to romance pretty much whoever you want to go after 100% of the time. Absolutely nothing is forced upon you in this game according to this reviewer. No romance, neither hetero or homosexual, is pushed on the player at all. Let me repeat that. The gay stuff is not forced upon you. It is more so like Baldur's Gate 3, if you will, where the game is as based as you make it, and even when it does allow for the gay stuff, I guess, it is very, very tame, apparently. If you do romance this male character, which the name of the person was not given unfortunately, but anyway, if you do, the way that it is implemented is that the male romance option is very secretive, even within the game. We're talking the language that is used and how Henry and this guy goes about it is considered very taboo, and very in line with the historical context of the times that the game takes place in. Because in case you don't know, same-sex couples back then especially was considered, well, heretical. And if you were found out, well, bad things would happen to you, let's put it that way. So Warhorse ensured that this wasn't some open relationship that people could just see you all doing. It is instead a very secretive relationship due to the religious backdrop of the game. According to the source, the actual romance scene between Henry and this character, which they claim to have seen themselves, is very, very brief and 100% skippable if you do plan on making Henry gay. It is, as the source claims, 5 seconds of kissing tops and about 5 seconds of both characters on the bed naked together. There is never any genitals shown, nothing like that. They are just on top of each other. According to the source, the female romance scenes, however, are much, much more exploitative and vulgar in comparison. We are talking full bush, breasts, everything is shown to the player if Henry romances a woman in this game. But in terms of the male option, no, you don't see literally anything. Think of the Mass Effect romances actually, how you would see Shepard and like Liara or Miranda with them or whatever, and you still don't see anything even though it's a male and a female. It's kind of like that. According to the source, there is a lot of naked women in this game, like a lot. We're talking women with huge assets, smaller assets, and everything in between. It's called a very mature game by this person. Probably gonna be a nightmare to stream this for most people according to this source. And I have no idea if there's an option to like censor all of this in the settings for stream reasons only, but I guess we'll see. Also, all cutscenes can be skipped, by the way, according to the source, so the Saudi ban claiming that they can't be, they are lying, according to this source. Beyond this one taboo-treated romance Henry can delve into, there are 0 other examples of LGBTQ+ or any sort of woke elements really in the game at all, according to this reviewer. The only gay character is apparently Istvan Toth, who again is a villain, but according to the reviewer, his sexuality is never even brought up even once in this game at all. Now, as for diversity, according to this reviewer, there is one single black character in the entire game amidst a sea of European white people. According to them, this black character is a very well-written character, and he's under the command of an enemy commander. And this enemy commander is apparently the only person who is nice to this black character. But according to the source, this black character is a very likable person, and again, due to the period that this game takes place in, he is treated accurately by the populace, which is, well, you know, very, very racist. So the towns in the game are also not multicultural whatsoever, and they fit the historical periods of their times. As this reviewer stated, the singular black character is 100% treated as a fish out of water from a cultural standpoint. So let me repeat what we were told here by this person who beat the game. There is a gay romance, but it is very subtle and treated like a taboo because in this world it would be. The female romance options, however, are very graphic, very detailed, and they show literally everything to the player. There is basically no multiculturalism, so to speak, in the game at all. No entire groups of anyone who isn't white. There is one black character who, like I said, has a tragic backstory and is treated really poorly by the people around him, but he is apparently a great character. And beyond this, there is nothing that is in this game, according to this reviewer anyway, that would warrant the ire of anyone looking to boycott the game. The reviewer also said that the gameplay of this game is 10 out of 10. It's a Game of the Year contender, and the combat is similar to the first game, but much easier to understand and get into. Their only negative was that lockpicking still kind of sucks to do, but beyond this, the reviewer claims that the game is, from beginning to end, utterly excellent. Masterful even, and everything and everyone is treated with proper historical context from beginning to end. By the way, having the gay romance option does not make this game woke or whatever either. It's clear that Warhorse implemented it with insane historical accuracy. And it would be stupid, yes, if you could just walk around hand in hand with this other guy through the streets without people, you know, throwing stones at you or worse. But no, you heard it here. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is not woke, it is not DEI driven, it is based as hell, according to this reviewer, and excellent to play. I did want to relay this information to all of you, so now you all have it. Grums should be posting this publicly by the time this video goes live. He did send me this stuff a little early so that I could implement it into my video, so thank you to him and shout out to him for that, I really appreciate it. Now with this added context in mind, I want to now get into the rest of the stories here and how Daniel Vavra needs to rectify his wording on this game because none of this is doing him any favors. From Fandom Pulse. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 creative director Daniel Vavra positions himself as victim of culture war as he issues statements regarding rumors. Here's what Daniel Vavra said via Facebook, which was shared on Twitter soon after. So after the leftists cursing me at Yahtzees for 10 years, now Yahtzees cursing me at Jews because Saudi Arabia might want to ban Kingdom Come Deliverance because of the homosexual scene. A little broken English, but in Daniel's defense, it's not his first language, so it's understandable. There's a lot of missing context here, so I figured I'd explain it to you all now. You see, when Kingdom Come Deliverance was first coming out, it was attacked all over by media outlets from the moment that it was announced. The game was crowdfunded with certain goals to reach before it entered proper production in full. One of these articles goes all the way back to 2014, a full 3 years before Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 even released, and it's from Kotaku and it's titled, "Idiots Fight to Keep a Medieval Game White." The bulk of that article is Kotaku's Link Plunkett complaining that racists are getting their way for allowing a game to feature only white people in a video game. Yes, this article is from over 10 years ago, and even still the conversation of woke leftists shaming people for historical accuracy has unfortunately largely remained unchanged. The rot does run deep, my friends. The gist of Kotaku's argument here is that the user who started this conversation, who was aptly named Medieval POC or Person of Color on Tumblr, was getting berated by people for suggesting that the game may be too white and be forcing a non-diverse agenda in the game. Even though the original game, which I played and beat, was set in a small countryside of medieval Bohemia, so the likelihood of there being anyone besides white people was basically 0% at the time. This led to that immersion that players appreciated. Of course, this didn't stop websites back then trying to paint Kingdom Come as this problem game that people shouldn't support. To show you how long this discourse surrounding Warhorse Studios and their game has gone on, here's Vice in 2018, a year after the first game came out officially, claiming that they wouldn't cover the game despite it selling well and becoming a household name at the time. Their reason for being is that the game was not what they were looking for apparently, which is just leftist speak. For the reason why we're not covering this hugely popular game at the time is because it goes against our tenets, so to speak. It's disappointing to say the least, and I mean this discourse, like I said, just keeps going. Here we have in 2021 on Daily.com, where they posted this yet again, pushing against Kingdom Come with their article, "Is a medieval video game historically accurate without people of color? Does a game that takes place in a small part of medieval central Bohemia need characters of color?" This question mirrored the claims of Medieval POC, that Tumblr person, showing that this was a topic that, despite some websites claiming that they didn't want to cover it, in fact really did want to cover it, but not for positive reasons. They were, simply, mad at Warhorse and trying to cancel them, so to speak, for not bending the knee to their ever-growing agenda at the time. The reason why I'm explaining all of this to you is so that we can all better understand how the lore and history of what led us here has now come to what it is now, especially with you now knowing all the context that Grums gave me too. The point is that Kingdom Come and Warhorse have been the target of leftist media outlets for quite literally 10 years at this point, as I've already shown you. They have been berated, attacked, looked down upon, and demanded to include people of color in their game that wouldn't have those cultures or ethnicities within them for historical reasons. Yet we all know that if this game, or whatever, was some African simulator game instead, then none of these websites would be trying to strong-arm the developers to add white people into them. Basically, diversity is only bad if white people exist in the thing that they're complaining about, is what this all comes down to. Which is why it's so perplexing for me to see Daniel Vavra try to victimize himself and at comparison his studio when it comes to this entire stupid controversy. Warhorse has been attacked by these people for 10 full years at this point. Yet when it comes time to release your second game in the series, you are now trying to call the people who supported your game before Yahtzees for having problems with you adding things that weren't there in the first place. The gay stuff, I mean. Look, I don't want people to boycott Kingdom Come, and as I've already shown you, the game is in fact very, very good, and this entire situation is actually pretty much just somewhat overblown, and the claims of that gay scene or scenes is not nearly as bad as many people on the internet are making it out to be. The point of the matter is that Daniel Vavra is muddying the conversation around his game, mere weeks from launch perhaps, out of the fact that he either fails to express himself properly in English, or it could be that he's simply tired of everyone's opinions, which I get that too. But to be someone that has on record stated that he's aware that companies are afraid of people like Asmongold or the Critical Drinker, to then within a week or two of saying those words turn himself in his studio into a target to get shot at, it's ridiculous and unneeding to me. It's all a pointless culture war moment. I think you're all aware in my extensive coverage already on Kingdom Come that I've done recently that I'm not attacking Warhorse, I'm not attacking Daniel Vavra either. I am still extending my hand out to help them calm these waves. Because there's literally no reason for any of this, frankly. It's utterly pointless. Kingdom Come 2 will sell regardless. I don't want the game to fail, nor do I want anyone to not buy it. And I think based on what I've shown you already, that all they need to do is confirm that these leaks are real, and this will all just wash away like the rain for them. Everything that I have seen and been told paints Kingdom Come like a Game of the Year contender. There's no reason for any of this at all. But I hope this video can stop the bleeding at the source and allow the community to understand that a lot of the problems here are at least unwarranted, according to what this reviewer told Grums. Could the reviewer be lying? Sure, but Grums told me he verified everything with this person before telling me this, so I doubt it. Kingdom Come 2 should be supported. Don't let this hate campaign that is built on clear misinformation ruin your enjoyment of what can and likely will be an amazing medieval simulator game. And of course, as I was making this video, Daniel Vavra responded to the controversy, so here's what he said, and I quote, "It is time to address wild claims some people spread that are apparently based just on one screenshot and a poorly translated tweet, spoiler alert, contains spoilers about the story of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. There are no unskippable cutscenes in our games. Anybody who claims otherwise never played them. We are not, nor ever were, banned in any country, at least not that we know of. As much as I don't like forced diversity, nobody was forcing us to do anything, and we are not forcing anyone to do certain things. Gay characters were already in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. Kingdom Come is an RPG. You are responsible for your decisions. If you want Henry to try a same-sex adventure, feel free. If you don't want to, you don't have to. All affairs are and were in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 purely optional. The characters are perfectly aware that it was a forbidden sin. The game takes place in one of the richest cities in Europe, which was besieged by a massive foreign army. That's the reason why the life in such a city is more diverse than the life in villages which were featured in the first game. Musa came to Bohemia with an invading army as a member of the royal court of King Sigismund, where he met thanks to his engagement at the court of Sultan Bayezid. He's an educated noble and Renaissance man from the Kingdom of Mali. At the same time, Musa is a very unusual figure for the local Bohemian folk, and many of the situations around him in the game stem from this, so his presence makes sense and creates lots of interesting situations in the game. The way he talks and behaves has a reason. Everything displayed corresponds to the morals and societal norms of 1403 Bohemia, and is only there to make an interesting story and not at all to appeal to a modern audience. We don't want Kingdom Come Deliverance to be used as clickbait by people who didn't even play it yet. Some of them sadly turned into exactly the same narrative they pretend to be fighting against. The amount of hateful behavior is really sad and it will damage any cause associated with it." End quote. What do you think of what he said here? Let me know as always. Now let's talk about some insufferable games journalists, because there's quite a lot of them. To begin, there's Paul Tassi. I don't hate this guy at all, but he does sometimes do and say things that makes me roll my eyes, like right now. When this video goes live, Trump will be in office. In case you don't know, people like Snoop Dogg will be performing at Trump's inauguration, which is wild because Snoop Dogg used to hate Trump publicly. But then again, so did many celebrities actually. Why the change of tune? It's simple, because none of these people have morals at all. They just swing whichever way is popular at the time. Conservative is in right now. If liberal becomes the de facto way eventually, they will just pretend like none of this even existed or happened, and then they will never be pro-conservative and blah blah blah. This is why I don't listen to anything that celebrities ever say. Anyway, Snoop Dogg is doing just that, so Paul Tassi of course had to chime in and say, someone's not getting invited back to the Game Awards. Which, as you would expect, caused people to go, oh, so the Game Awards is pro-leftist is what you're trying to say, and in fact has a political agenda. Which is very mask off for him, but that's not really that surprising. I then replied to Paul, so you admit the Game Awards is a leftist echo chamber? To which Paul would reply, I mean, obviously the industry is mostly very liberal. This is not like a secret. This was also clearly a joke, but sure, make a video or whatever. I mean, he realized he did something stupid. That another user would reply, aren't jokes supposed to be humorous? It might have worked if it was one of those jokes that are funny because you know they're obviously not true. Paul Tassi would then reply, you guys don't think anything is humorous, you just want to be mad at things. Well, that's not true of me anyway. I don't really get mad at things. I do, however, report things as they are because that's how I always do my videos. I just found it funny that Paul kind of went mask off here like this. But let it be known that the Game Awards will probably still bring Snoop Dogg back, as well as anybody else that is celebrating Trump currently. I wouldn't be surprised if the Game Awards in 2025 goes suddenly pro-American because again, these companies and celebrities have zero morals or identities of their own. They would all be wearing Yahtzee uniforms and saluting if it was considered the meta at the time. These people are just whatever is socially acceptable for them at that moment. Although admitting that the game sphere is very liberal, that is hilarious to me, so thanks Paul, very nice. Looking forward to the articles from you, where everything you complained about for years as being bad is suddenly great because it's now politically okay to do so. There was also this other story I didn't really have a way of putting anywhere, but basically PlayStation axed some of their other projects, and one of them was a God of War live service game made by Blue Point Games, the people who did the Demon's Souls remake. Yeah, I know, who the hell would want a live service God of War game? Not me for sure. Anyway, that and some other stuff got cancelled. Sony, honestly, in general, has been stupid this entire generation in my opinion, and this is coming from a PlayStation fan. Because a ton of their stuff this generation has either not been for me outside of a few games, and it's kinda sad to see. Of course, the usual suspects got mad that people celebrated that these cancelled projects were happening, like Khalif Adams and Alana Pierce, who said this on Twitter. Seeing so much glee about cancelled projects is just gross. Yeah, I hate it fam, and then Alana says this, people who want games to fail are tourists, fake gamers, a lot of them. And that's rich coming from the lady who desperately wants everyone to think that she actually wrote God of War Ragnarok. Even though when you look up the writing staff for Ragnarok, her name is nowhere to be found as seen here in the credits, and then it turned out the only thing she actually did write for God of War was the cooking book of all things. But please guys, she definitely wrote the game too, never mind that she's not credited as a writer. Stop being fake gamer guys, come on. Don't forget the time that she stole Sekiro art from someone else and claimed that she drew it herself for Twitter likes, then got exposed and doubled down about it, and then tried to run damage control. But please guys, she's a real gamer, okay? She's also a real artist too. No, stop looking at the fact that her art looks suspiciously exactly like someone else's that she didn't credit and tried to pass off as her own, guys. Come on, stop it. Also, another interesting thing from these two idiots claiming we're all fake gamers, did you know that Khalif Adams worked on Concord? No, he actually did. His name is in the credits. And wow, what an accomplishment, Khalif. You were the community manager for a game that died and shut down in 2 weeks after release. Incredible community managing, by the way. Your entire community lasted about as long as a junior high school relationship. Incredible. It's also funny seeing these people complain about cancelled projects, claiming that we're all fake gamers, when people like Khalif Adam don't even support the games that he champions, like before where he begged for a free code for Dragon Age Veilguard instead of supporting the game and buying it. Hey Khalif, you can't complain that games get cancelled or fail if you never open your wallet to support any of these things yourself. You're just going to look like an idiot doing this, but as you can see in this video, there was a lot. You got confirmation of Kingdom Come's agenda. You got backstory on Warhorse's history, and you got to see journalists being stupid like always. I think this is more than enough for one video, so thank you for watching. Let me know what you think as always, and thank you to my patrons and members for your continued support. Subscribe if you want to keep up to date on this godforsaken games industry that we all, rely on, I guess. I don't know, man. And the controversies and news that constantly surrounds it. Take care of yourselves. Kingdom Come 2 is almost here. Please be excited. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.